Whenever you're ready, Nick.
Yep, right. Let's start with our favourite subject, and that would be strikers.
Really?
Top of our list. There's talk that clubs close to signing Wilson Isidore and interested in Rocco Simic from Salzburg. Are you able to elaborate on that situation?
We are working on many profiles, as you know. At the minute, we are confident, but it's not signed and it's not finished. This option, so we'll see during the weekend. I know, for sure.
But from what you're saying, things are moving, and it does look like that is possibly going to happen.
Yes, it's possible, but you know the transfer window, and it's still like a meeting with someone. If we need to match each other to be able to conclude something. So at the moment it's not finished. We'll see.
I know you were optimistic last week when you spoke about it. You're confident that you probably get a couple of players in, a couple of strikers in, and now with Mayenda scoring those two at the weekend, things look quite rosy.
I explained that idea before. We are looking for the solution outside, and we have many talented players inside. So this is like a belief. We need to think that the players we have in the building are strong. They are young for some of them, and they need some experience. And the example of Eliza Mayenda is a good example, I think, because nobody could have think that he could play like that against Sheffield, and he scored twice. So it explained our process. We believe in our players. They are young. We need to develop them. At the end, sometimes it could happen very fast, and for other players, we'll need maybe 6 months or 1 year to develop them. So the experience, and I think we need to believe in their potential as well.
I said strikers is our favourite subject. Our second favourite subject is Jack Clarke. There's talk this morning that Ipswich have made a bid for Clarke. Are you able to say anything about the possibility of him leaving?
He trained this morning, so this is my main concern. So he's available for the team this weekend at the moment. Many of our players are targeted by the other teams because the transfer window is like that. When you have talented players in the squad, the other clubs could be interested by these players. So it's the rules of the transfer window, and for me, we need to be confident because we have this kind of players in our team. It's good news for us. And sometimes some of them can leave because it's the rules of our job. We'll see.
I mean, because the profile of Jack Clarke is so big, and he's the one player that's been spoken about as the most likely to leave, are you fundamentally working on the basis that you're looking at Mundell, you're looking at other players as his possible replacement, and you've got to do that because there's a fair chance he will go?
It's a possibility. So for us, all the staff, we know that it's a possibility. So we are working hard on the replacement if it's happened. But at the moment, it's not the case. So we'll see again.
On the playing side, you made a point last week about a player like Mundell that you can get a very, very good performance from him, and then there might be a dip for 2 games and so on. Is that applicable to the team against Sheffield Wednesday now? Great performance against Sheffield Wednesday, and you've got to guard against dip now against Burnley.
Yes, it's a right question because the team played well last season against Southampton. We talked about this game, but the repetition of this kind of performance is difficult. It's really difficult, and I think it makes the difference between the top team and the team who will play in the middle of the table. So the consistency is the main point. For sure, I wasn't surprised by this performance, but now I want to be surprised by the idea we can repeat this kind of performance. This is the key point for us, really.
And does it help that it's Burnley, who've had a very, very good start?
Yes, because it's a good challenge. And this team knew the Premier League last season. They have many talented and experienced players, so it will be a good test for us, and to test our consistency during the game and the ability to solve other problems with talented players.
I think you said at the weekend you can't really judge the league until you play 10, 12 games, and that's fair enough. But do you think Burnley, bearing in mind the results they've had so far, the squad that they've got still, is it a good barometer, is it a good benchmark this weekend for you to see how far you've come in a month and a half?
Yes, one of them for sure. One more game and 90 minutes more to understand the balance of the game, the way we are still improving or not, and the problems we can solve or not. So I think that after 10 games I'll have a better understanding of the whole pictures. At the moment it's not the case, but this test will be very interesting for us, for sure.
Injuries, Alan Brown was the concern obviously last weekend, but then Chris Rigg has put in a performance that, well, there's a statement there from a young player. Is that in one sense flipped it? Because I think Alan Brown was probably going to be your first choice midfielder, but a performance like that from Chris Rigg, it's given you it's something to think about, isn't it?
Yes, it's a good problem for me. Yeah, and another example to show that when a player is missing, we have other players in the dressing room able to show their qualities. And Chris Rigg played very well during this game. The purpose now is the ability to repeat, because it's not easy, but it was very interesting. And if we have more players in the squad to compete and to push them to be better during the training session and to earn their position in the squad, it's better for us. Really.
And finally for me, there's talk of Bennett going to Reading for a season loan. Any movement there? And Hamir was another player that you talked about could possibly be going on loan. Is there any movement?
The next week will be interesting for all this movement. I think the players who need to play and to find the right solution for their development need to go on loan. So it's a possibility for Emir, it's a possibility for Joey and other players.
Hi. When a new manager comes in, the big challenge can be imposing your philosophy, your footballing philosophy on a team. But after that performance at the weekend, do you think these players, they can really see your vision for this kind of front foot, exciting football?
It's still a purpose, and if I ask to the players to be consistent, I need to be consistent as a head coach as well. So it's like a repetition and something to develop every week, every day. And it was the case this morning, for example. I didn't think that the session was good. So the consistency, the high standards we are searching for are always in question. So I think that the first link was good with the team, and for me and for us, because the welcome was very good, and the way we started to work together was very interesting. Now the next purpose and next step is always to keep the consistency. So now it's good, but tomorrow after the game of Burnley we can say, oh, maybe it's not good. So we'll see. Keep going.
You're still learning about players. Were you expecting such a performance from Chris Rigg? You know, were you expecting to see Mayenda take his chances in the way he did?
During the friendly games, he showed many things and many good things. So I wasn't surprised, really. and during the training session is always playing not like that, but he wants to improve all the time. So for me, it's the main quality. And Chris, for that side of his personality, is very interesting. So he has many qualities, but he has, for me, the best quality to become a great player, the willingness to improve. So I wasn't surprised, really. Now the next step is to repeat.
You spoke after the game about the role that the crowd played in that, and perhaps that was your first real taste of just how electric the Stadium of Light can be when they see the team giving them what they want to see. Are you expecting more of the same this weekend?
It was very interesting, really, because sometimes the crowd was quiet, and after a duel, after high pressing, a high recovery, we felt the energy. Whew, it was crazy, and I think we still need to create this link with the crowd and the fans, because we need to convince them that the way we want to play, the way we want to represent the club, the community, the fans, the region, is ongoing, and there are still many challenges for us to create and to convince them to be behind us, especially when it will be difficult, because it was a perfect game against Sheffield. We know that won't be the case at all the games we'll have at the Stadium of Light. So we need to deserve them, and we need to think that they are always behind us. So the process is ongoing, I think.
And just finally, Sheffield gave you those opportunities to play in that way to a degree, and Burnley, they'll have done their analysis, they've watched that game several times. How are you preparing for how they're going to counter, the high press and that kind of front foot football?
With the repetition of the games, the analysis, it becomes deeper for all the teams, for Burnley, but for us as well. So this is the question of the model of game, the game model as well. It's not a game model where the players can't adapt themselves to the problems they have. So the more we can be adaptive, the more we will be performant during this season. So we start with some specific rules, and we need to evolve, because the opposition will evolve and defend in a different way. So the ability to gain experiences and to change during the game if the first option is not the right one is also a purpose to develop for our team.
Regis, whilst Burnley have a lot of talent and they will make it difficult for you on Saturday, given how the crowd fed off the high press and the duels, as you've mentioned, against Sheffield Wednesday, is the best form of defence actually attack against a side like them?
The two first games they played, they tried to attract the pressure to play high after. So I think we need to be clear on that possibility. If we press high, I think one of their option could be playing behind, play with their target man, and then play the second ball. So it will be, I think, a key point for that game. So we'll see how we will solve this problem.
How impressed were you with Eliza Meyenda on Sunday as well?
Keep going. So I like this kind of player, as I explained for Chris Rigg. He still wants to learn. At Cardiff, he missed one great chance to score the second goal of the game, and I think to close that game. And after the game, we talked about this action, and he was clear about what was wrong, what he could improve, and during the week after, he still tried to improve. So for me, I said and explained to him, this is the right attitude, the right behavior to be better for the next game. And it was the case. It was impressive for sure, but The attitude and the behaviors for me are the most important thing in that side. I can say like that.
Have you found a lot of that in the camp, like a lot of good attitude, a lot of good behaviour, especially given how young the squad are and inexperienced?
I spoke with 2 or 3 players this morning during the gym, and their feelings was that one. We played as a team, and it was consistent even when it was more difficult during the game. So this is the key point, because I think we can create many things with the ball, and we have many talented players, but to be successful during the whole season we need a strong organization, and we want to play together, we want to defend together, we want to press high. When it's not possible, we can keep the shape as in the 4-4-2 and waiting for the opportunity to intercept the ball, for example. And if we share this language even when it's tough, I think we can compete and we play very well. But it's still unstable because they are young, because it's tough to play like that during a whole season and during a whole game, for sure. But this is our main goal for this team.